here I am again. First time in a while, I guess. So, new decade. So I just figure I'll pop in and say a few things about it, I guess. Uh, but survived the last decade. In fact, I survived quite a few decades to this point in my life. And hopefully I'll survive, well, hopefully I'll survive at least this one, most of it anyhow. We'll see, one day at a time, moving forward. Anyhow, the phrase I'm hearing now is everybody's referring to this as the Roaring Twenties. Well, it's a term that's been used for a decade that was 100 years ago, the 1920s. Now I've reused the same term in the 2020s, which tells me people apparently have no imagination, and instead they come up with a new term, new name for the decade, they're going to use the old one and repeat it. Fine, I have no problem with that. But I'm going to think back and talk about the 1920s a little bit. And mind you, I'm going by from my memory, from what I've learned over the years about the 1920s. I did not fact check anything I'm about to say, not see. So how accurate I am as far as dates and everything, I don't know. So you want to fact check me, go right ahead. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Hey, it can't be right all the time. In fact, most of the time I'm never right. I'm usually left. Usually at that point in time, I say something like, "Nah, anyhow, let's continue on." 1920s. Think back to that time in history. We're not too far from a world war that ended a few years earlier. That was a good thing that it ended. Another good thing is we passed the 19th Amendment, which gives the right to vote to women, which is a good thing. I don't know. I understand why they never had the right in the first place, but anyhow, that's neither here or there. The 19th Amendment was passed in 1919 and applied and took effect in 1920, giving women the right to vote. And that was a good thing. And let's see what else happened. Also, 1920s was, I guess, the beginning of what they call the jazz era in music. So, and of course, I'm not a big jazz fan, but never was. I might, who knows what the future might start to like it a little bit more than I do now. I don't know. But anyhow, and, when it comes to music, I'm more of a rock and roll fan than anything else. But my favorite genre of music is doo-wop. I listen to doo-wop all day long. But I'm not here to talk about just music. Back to the 1920s. Let's see what else was going on in the 1920s. In America, we started to be affluent people buying cars and stuff like that, automobiles, spending money. People were starting to get well-to-do. And because Prohibition was in effect, that's where alcohol was illegal. So that increased crime and generated a thing called the speakeasy. I'm sure you all heard of the speakeasies, even though you probably never been to one. I know I've never been to one because in the 1920s I wasn't even a twinkle in my mother's eye. So at that point. So anyhow, 1920s. What else happened in the 1920s? Oh yeah, let's not forget how the decade ended. The Great Depression. Oh yeah, because we were fortunate we thought the depression of 2008 was bad. It was nowhere near as bad as 1929. No, sir. That was bad. People not only lost their jobs and everything, they lost everything. People were committing suicide. Things were so bad. Also, I guess that time frame, we had the Dust Bowl in the Midwest. So things were bad. Come to the end of the decade ended. And so we talk about the Roaring Twenties. They roared a lot. A lot of good things happened, and some bad things happened. So let's not be doomed to repeat, especially the bad things. If we want to repeat the good things, that's fine. And because I don't know if anybody's listening to me, but doesn't matter. Because I don't know if you're listening to me or watching me unless you make a comment. And as of right now, I got no comments. That's fine. I'll just ramble on anyhow. And have to give myself some water here. Had a wet my whistle, so to speak. And so anyhow, 1920s, I guess, like I said, a lot of good things happened. And well, I'm getting some comments here. Of course, my eyes are bad. There's two people who's watching me, I guess. That's good. It makes me happy. Good way to start the new year off, new decade off. Welcome aboard to my live vlog, I guess you call it. I don't know, I got all these fancy names for different things. And I'm still learning how to use all this new technology. I'm from the old school. Grew up, didn't have computers, didn't have cell phones. In fact, I remember as a kid, a telephone was what they call a party line. You pick it up and listen, make sure nobody was using it before you could use it. And then you ask for the operator, she'd come on, and you gave her the number you wanted, she would dial it for you. Yeah, that's before dial phones. That's going back quite a ways. 60 years anyhow, probably. So anyhow, back to the 1920s versus that's what I started talking about. Yeah, the big thing in the 1920s is prohibition. And we all know about Al Capone and all those gangsters that come out and all the bootlegging that was going on, illegal. Well, anyhow, prohibition was doomed to fail from the beginning because people wanted to drink. And some things never change. People today still want to drink. I'm not a drinker. I used to be, but I stopped many years ago. And because I never really cared for the taste of it. In fact, I'm probably the only person in the world who doesn't like the taste of beer. So, anyhow. So, I try to, I can't, somebody retracted the message. That's fine. It says there's two watching now. That's good. I'm glad somebody's watching. I don't know if there's any truth to that or not. Yeah, you're probably right. You know, I tried beer once, a long time ago. I didn't care for it. When I was in the Army years ago, the Army used to sell this beer they used to call 3.2 beer. That stuff was bad. And didn't care for it. And then later on, after I got out of the military, I tried beer a couple of times. Never cared for it. I don't know why. Didn't depend on the beer. I tried different brands, and I don't know. It's just something about it I didn't care for. Now I have a friend who told me about this a thing called white beer. I want to try sometime. I haven't tried it yet. So it's called Alasha, I think it is. If I'm wrong about the Alasha, some kind of white bear. I don't know. That's what I'm told. I looked it up on the internet. There is such a thing, white bear. I think they call it Alasha or Lashy or something. I'm not sure now. And but one day I want to trying to have one of my caretakers out shopping for me, pick me up a pack of that, and I'll try it. And who knows? As we grow older, our tastes change. So maybe if I tasted beer now, I might like it. I don't know. But uh, when I used to drink, though, I was a bourbon drinker. Yep, bourbon straight up on the rocks. Yeah, on the rocks or straight up. Either way, I drank it. I picked bourbon because that's the only true American whiskey there is. And I guess bourbon was made from corn. Other whiskeys are made from other types of wheat, rye, and whatever. But never tried any moonshine, not illegal moonshine, or white lightning, or whatever you want to call it. I think that stuff will probably kill you. Probably killed me. So strong. But so anyhow, the thing is, I don't drink anymore. I don't think my body could tolerate it now, and I don't do a lot of things anymore because I don't smoke anymore, and that's why I had the problem I have because I used to smoke way too much, and because back in the days when I started smoking, everybody said it was good for you. Boy, what a pack of lies that was. And I finally quit because it was only, well, I guess it's been about 12 years ago I quit. And it took me, uh, and took me probably, I guess it took me about a year to quit. Yeah, I haven't noticed a comment out there. Moonshine is harsh. Yeah, well, I never tried it, and I don't think I'm not planning on ever trying it because I watch a lot of video vlogs, and I do a lot of these come from the South, and everyone in the South when they do their vlogs walking around to these different places, you always seem to find an old moonshine still somewhere in the woods or in the mountains or in some back alley or some old barn down in the South. So apparently they probably still make moonshine. That's fine. Uh, anyhow, so I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't think I have any vices left. Boy, I must be a boring person. Yeah, I don't drink. I don't smoke. Sex is out of the question. So what else left? There I sit. No wonder I'm sitting there talking to a computer screen. And of course, it's nice that somebody had listened to me. And anyhow, I got off track here. Talking about 1920s and the Roaring Twenties, as they were called, Jazz era, beginning of it, Prohibition. That's how I got on this sidetrack because of Prohibition, and that lasted probably I don't know, like 10, 12, 13 years before they finally put an end to it and put an end to Prohibition. I don't know, something like that. It's quite a while. Yeah. So they say the Roaring Twenties. I guess they roared, and they roared to the point where we almost roared ourselves into extinction. So hopefully this decade we don't do the same thing. We hope we learn from the past. But yeah, excuse me, I gotta have a little more water here. Actually, I feel pretty good tonight, and I'm breathing pretty well tonight. So I'm trying to have a better nights. And that's good. That's a good thing. So uh, anyhow, just out of curiosity, if anybody wants to comment or where they're from, I'd like to know where who's listening to where they are, because a lot of times I watch vlogs from other countries, and when I make a comment, I always tell them where I am. And uh, Texas. All right. I have. I used to have a niece that lived in Texas, and she got a job up in Chicago, so she left Texas. But I have a friend who lives in Texas, and is that what part of Texas she worked? She lives in I don't remember at this point. And yeah, Texas. It's a good. I've never been to Texas, so I can't complain about it. I can't complain about my state, Massachusetts, because I live here. Sometimes you call it Massachusetts, commonly called Taxachusetts, because we have taxes here up to wing wang. Don't ask me what a wing wang is, I have no idea. It's just an expression. So, yeah, they put taxes on taxes here. And, I'm sure down where you are, they have taxes too. You can't, like the old saying is, there are two things sure in this world, that's death and taxes. And sometimes I'm not too sure about death, but I know about taxes. There always will be taxes. So, but, I always hoped to travel the country, and one of the states I wanted to go to was Texas, and especially San Antonio, because I always wanted to see the Alamo. But after seeing videos of it, I guess it won't be what I expected. So this is probably just as well. But I guess that San Antonio has a nice river walk they built down there. So I've seen videos of that. It seems really nice. So, and big cities in Texas, I guess they're big. And I'm not a big city person. Not a city person. At one time I thought I was, but I wasn't. Basically somewhat of a well, suburban type person, more than not city person or really country. I'm in between suburban, I guess, is the term for it. So I was born in a small city. I was raised in suburbia, and but I was raised here in Massachusetts. And the only traveling I ever did was when I was in the military. But my military status is strictly stateside, so I didn't do any. Never left the country. And I think I got a vlog out there about my military history. I think it's called A Letter from My Uncle Sam. Yeah, I was drafted. Back in those days, the draft was in full effect because Vietnam was in full, full engagement at the time, I guess. Yeah. And I was, fortunately, I never had to go to Vietnam, but it's always on my mind because in the military, they put you where they need you, no matter who you were or what you did. And but I was stationed stateside for my time in the military, so I was fortunate. But I still had opinions, and because my opinions don't mean much, we all have opinions. And as I tell people, uh, everybody has a right to their opinion as long as it agrees with mine. That's a joke, by the way, so don't get mad at me. And but, anyhow, continue on. You know, uh, uh, I see you put some emojis up there. That's another thing I want to talk about. These emojis people use on Facebook and stuff like now. I have no clue what half this stuff means. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not going to try to learn what half this stuff means. So you threw a couple of emojis up there. It's a meaning something. And maybe you're going to explain it to me exactly what they mean. Because I don't know, you can laugh at me. I'm ignorant about a lot of things. And sometimes I get opinionated. But there's one thing, though. I do have opinions, but my opinions can change. So I'm not hardcore to the point where I check they're made in stone and I can't change them. Especially if my opinion I turn determined to be incorrect. and sometimes it is. So, yeah. So I'm glad. I'm glad to see. You know, you find humor in the things I say because humor is a good thing to have. And I want to do these vlogs, probably, hopefully, a little more often. And but, yeah, and I know, yeah, you laugh at me. I know you're not laughing at me because you tell me that. I know if you are, I don't mind because life's too short. If I can't make fun of myself, who can I make fun of? So I can dish it and I can take it. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, but anyhow, I'm having a conversation with you. I think it's fantastic because, and I'm sitting here a lot of times, my mind is wandering and I don't know what to say, and I start to ramble like I'm doing right now. And and anyhow, I'm just going to let you know how old I am, okay? Because people say I don't look my age. Well, I don't know if I do or not. I'm 72 years of age, and in a few months I'm going to be 73, and that's only a number. Of course, I'm dyslexic, so that means instead of being 72, I'm 27. Anyhow, that's enough about that. Uh, uh, Thank you for joining me because once in a while I pop on these live, live videos, and I didn't know what to expect or what to do, and I've been thinking about them, and I said, I had to give myself some kind of agenda, so I get on here and have to start rambling on. I got to talk about something, and I thought about what can I talk about on a regular basis, and maybe get a few props to show and stuff like that, and well. I do make videos, by the way. I don't know if you ever seen well, you must see my channel because you found me on my channel. So I have other videos out there I put together. And what I try to do on videos, the main goal is to entertain people. I try to put a wide variety of different types of videos out there. Unfortunately, at one time, I intended of going out into the city I live in. By the way, in case you don't know, I live in Salem, Massachusetts. People are going to say, oh, you shouldn't say where you live, blah, blah, blah. I know, I hear all that stuff all the time. So they know where I live. They want to come and get me, come and get me. It doesn't matter. Well, it does matter, especially to me. But anyhow, but back to what I started saying about my videos. I wanted to go out to the different times in the city of Salem and do vlogs, live vlogs from different parts in Salem. And unfortunately, I don't get out. This time of year, I don't get out at all because the weather's too cold and my body can't tolerate the cold. And plus, weather gets bad. My scooter doesn't work too well in cold weather. So anytime I really get out, it's in warm weather. So hopefully, maybe this summer, I can start doing what I said to do. But I'm kind of limited to where my scooter will take me. And there are different areas. I can go into downtown Salem and, and okay, yeah, you're right. Age is only a number. Talk about my memories. Wow. Oh man, I can tell you about my memories. Well, okay. I'll tell you a little bit about myself. Okay, Salem is just outside of Boston, north of Boston a little bit. And I grew up in a town called Reading, which is north of Boston, not too far from Salem. And I met my wife. She was from North Reading, which was a different town altogether than Reading. But yeah, okay. I give you a history. I think I put it out there one time. I met my wife in 1970. And, well, let me just start to let you know right away. I lost my wife 3 years ago this month. No, 3 years ago last month, December 2016. I lost my wife at the young age of 68, way too young. And kidney problem, kidney disease, got her. And anyhow, let's get back to where I started. Memories. I won't give you all my memories in one night because I'm not going to be able to sit here and talk all night. I have memories that probably fill most of the night, but like most of us do. Uh, uh, like I said, I met my wife in 1970. In fact, I met her because this is a true story. She was dating my best friend at the time I met her, and after we were introduced, I finally got the courage to call her and ask her out. And of course, she said yes. And we started going out on a regular basis, behind the back of my best buddy, of all things, right? I tell you that my best buddy, he turned out to be a real good best buddy because eventually people told him what was going on, and my wife and I at the time, we weren't married at the time, but we told him what was going on. He took it well, and believe it or not, we remained friends. Yep, we absolutely remained friends right up until the day he died. And that's another story. And he died young, so he was 27 when I lost him. Yeah, that's another story. Anyhow, met my wife in 1970. We were engaged the same year. A few months after we met, we decided we wanted to get married. And when I lean forward like this, it's only because I'm trying to read what you're typing. Uh, Thank you for saying that. Yeah, you're right. She was too young, but that's that was our destiny. We didn't know it at the time. That was our destiny, and it's anyhow. I don't. We had we had a total of 46 years together, married life, because we got married, got engaged in the spring of 1970. A few months out, no summer, late summer of 1970. We got engaged. So we met in about early spring of 1970, and we decided to get married, and we were going to get married the following summer. Then we moved it up to get married in February of 1971. And everybody said, oh, they're moving up because everybody thought she was pregnant. Well, as it turned out, she was. Of course, she wasn't pregnant. We just decided not to wait. So we got married 2 days before Valentine's Day in February 1971. February 12th, 1971, we got married. And it wasn't a big wedding. That we got married in a minister's office. So it's a half a step above the uh, whatever they call a judge wedding or something. I don't know. We got married by the local minister in his church in his office, and local, just a few friends were close. Just her folks, my folks, a couple of close friends were there, and that was it. And our honeymoon was exactly 2 days long because we got married on a Friday night. Our honeymoon lasted Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday because Monday we had to go to work. Yeah, and so anyhow, we got married February '71, and it was actually 2 weeks after we got married, we adopted a dog, and it was a little mixed breed. Yeah. And the dog was a rescue, in fact, because we're both animal lovers, and that's part of my memories. We'll get to that part of the story down the line. And It was 2 weeks after again we were married. We settled into a rented house. We rented a house from our folks and a little cottage. It had, I guess they call it 3 rooms basically, 3 room cottage. And we got a dog 2 weeks afterwards. It was a little mixed breed. I'd say it was a mix between a toy fox terrier and a chihuahua. And I was about 3 years old when we adopted her. And yeah, we had her about 14 years. She was the first to start us off on the world of having animals. And so I'm trying to think who came next because I guess if we weren't happy with just a dog, we decided to have a cat as well. Well, back in those days, we used to go to a lot of flea markets on every weekends. That's what we did for a hobby. I tell you, we end up with a pile of crap. We had a garage full of crap uh, from going to garage sales. We thought we were buying treasures. Turned out to be a load of crap, as it turned out. But anyhow, but we had fun doing it. But anyhow, one of these garage sales, they're giving away kittens, and they had 2 kittens there. They had a tricolor and one all black. Well, some young kid grabs a black one. And my wife said, we didn't want the tricolor one because we knew it was a female. And we all were going to take it. And my wife said, no, don't take that one. Let's wait a few minutes, see what happens. And sure enough, as always, she was right because what happened was the kid that took the black cat came back and gave it back to the woman who was giving the cats away, said he couldn't have it because well, his mother didn't want a female cat. So he put the black cat down and we took the black kitten home. And it was a kitten. It was only about just barely 8 weeks, if that, maybe 7 weeks. I mean, it was just barely eating on its own. Turned out it was a male cat anyhow. So apparently the woman told the kid that was just as an excuse that was a female. But anyhow, he took the tricolor instead. He walked off the tricolor. We didn't hang around. We took the black cat and left. So I don't know what happened. If he came back if he kept the tricolor or not, I don't know. So anyhow, we ended up with a kitten in the house with the dog. They got along, and we decided we didn't know what to name the cat. Well, the dog's name, by the way, was Princess. We didn't name it. It came with that name. So we just kept the name. We figured it's 3 years old. It's just the name Princess. We might have changed it to something else. But the kitten didn't have a name, so we're thinking about names to give it. And being a black cat, we thought Midnight, we thought Ashes. Well, we ended up naming the cat Trouble, only because he turned out to be trouble, but in a fun way. Except for one incident, it was a dangerous way. And that's how he got his name. Because our little cottage was heated by this gas heater. And thank goodness it was summertime because the heater wasn't on. The kitten got into the heater and got stuck in there. I ended up taking half the heater apart to get him out. And that's how I got the name Trouble. So, anyhow, he turned out to be a fantastic cat. We had him about 17 years. Yeah. So, but anyhow, that's continue on. I'm trying to think as I talk here, the progression, the order. I have a list written down because my wife kept records. Every time we got an animal, she wrote down the date we get it and the animal's name. And all she wrote down the day we lost it too. So I have a pretty good record of most of the animals. So anyhow, that's how we got the dog and the cat. That just started us off because then we got greedy. She fell in love with another dog. It was No, a mixed breed, a rescue. It was a cross between toy poodle, and a not a cocker spaniel. Was a cocker spaniel? I don't know. But anyhow, it was the most adorable dog, and I do have a picture of it. Not handy, of course. It's down, stored away in my basement in a closet. I'm gonna have to get those pictures together someday. This dog was an adorable dog. We named it. I mean, they call it a peekapoo because Pekingese and a poodle. That's what I was across from. Pekingese because they call it a peekapoo. So we decided to name the dog Peekaboo because it's a peekapoo. But we didn't like peekaboo, so we called it peekaboo, like the game, peekaboo. So, most adorable dog. Yeah. And talk about your lap dog. This dog was definitely a lap dog. Of course, that wasn't, she wanted another cat too. She wanted two and two to balance things off. Well, of course, I'm a softie. I, I gave in to her eventually. And we got another cat because there was a rescue. Like I said, all these animals are rescue. I don't have one animal in my life that wasn't a rescue, but we'll get to that way down the line. And so, anyhow, hopefully I'm not boring you too much, or you and anybody else who might be listening. Uh, uh, but and I'm getting no cat. Turned out to be an all white cat. I don't know why. That's the cat you wanted, and we called it Duchess. That was from the Walt Disney film The Aristocats. And so she named it Duchess, which was the name of the white cat in the film The Cats. The Cats. This is way back when. And yeah, so anyhow, okay, okay, thank you for letting me know because I would ramble on and if you get tired of listening to me, say so and I'll shut up. But I like to talk, especially when someone wants to listen, because most of the time I sit here alone, except when I have my caretakers in. But then again, they just clean my house for me because I can't do it, and they was for them. Anyhow, that's a different story. So anyhow, so we had two dogs and two cats in the house, and I figured that's enough. That's too much to handle. Oh, by the way, just let you know, I worked on a rental basis, which most people do. My wife was a stay-at-home housekeeper. I say homemaker. Housekeeper's not a. She preferred homemaker. She's right. She was a homemaker. She made the home. Her job was taking care of the house. So, and I went out earned some money, so we have money to pay the rent and stuff. And also, uh, also, I just want to throw this comment out there because people think when a person stays at. See, I'm from old school, and unfortunately, I guess my way of thinking is different now. I know, but back in those days, women stayed at home, the men went to work, blah blah blah. Because I know it's different now. But my wife, but back when people thought because she stayed at home, she didn't work. I said, oh no, she works. She does housework. She works for a living. And I try to tell people housework is a very difficult thing to do, and people don't realize it. And they think, oh no, housework is a piece of cake. It isn't because one thing, it's physically hard at times, but the hardest part about housework is you have to be self-disciplined to do it because you don't have a boss or a supervisor there making you do it. So you can put it off if you had to. And if you did, the jobs didn't get done. Where I went to work, you had a boss and a supervisor making sure you did your job. when you do housework, home alone, you don't have that somebody there pushing you. So it takes a lot of self discipline in order to do housework. That's part of the reason why it makes it so difficult because you don't have self discipline to do it. It's so easy not to do it. Anyhow, I guess I explained that right. I don't know. So anyhow, she did work. She didn't make any money at it because at the rate, housekeeper rate, I couldn't afford to ever do it if I had to pay her. So anyhow, so but we managed, and I always told her, you don't have to work as long as we can get by on what I make. That's fine. I'm happy. If you're happy, I'm happy. And of course, she didn't take much to make her happy. That's one of the things I loved about her. Yeah, simple things made her happy. And because my whole life at that point, my life was dedicated to making her happy. Because when she was happy, I was happy. Bingo, the whole world was happy. And that's what I felt. That's all I wanted to be was happy. I wanted her to be happy and me to be happy. And me, when she was happy, I was happy. So anyhow, we had the two dogs and two cats. And we're going through life like everybody does. We had our ups and downs, good times and a few bad times here and there. But the bad times are too few to remember. Well, I do remember them. But at least we had more good times than bad times. But anyhow, it's a turn now. We end up getting another dog. And we didn't plan on it, but it's a rescue we had to make because had some friends who had this dog and they were kind of abusing her a little bit by the way they kept her and everything else and the way they're treating her. So, and they were looking to get rid of it. So we said we'd take the dog. We did. And I had the dog on video somewhere. In fact, in one of my videos there, it shows one of my dogs, not the one I'm talking about yet, somehow, not the one I'm talking about now, but in that video, you'll see this dog I'm talking about. Her name was Patches. She was a black and white mixed breed. And they used to keep her tied up in the house and in one room. And I said, why you have I could never understand why people did that. Why would you want to tie a dog in one? You have a dog, you want it for companionship. If you have it tied up in one room, you're not in that room. Why have the dog? And they used to make the dog sleep under the bed. Well, underneath even beds back in those days, okay, there wasn't a heck of a lot of room under these beds. So when we got her, of course, we had a regular dog bed for her at the foot of our bed for her. She never used it in the beginning. She used to get underneath our bed. And one night, that dog came out with some ungodly scream. Woke my wife up and woke me up. So we said, what the hell is that? And it was a dog making this ungodly scream underneath our bed. So we got her up underneath the bed, started consoling her. And apparently, that's what the type of life she had. It took about 6 months. And that finally stopped. She finally stopped doing that and started sleeping in her own bed. And of course, she could have slept in our bed with us, but there's no room for her because the other two dogs are already there. So she could have slept at the foot of the bed, I suppose. But she chose to stay in her own bed, which is fine. And but at least that ungodly screaming she used to finally stopped. And she turned out to be a fantastically loving dog and protective, which I'll get to later. I have a story about that too, because she lived, God, I don't know how long. I don't know, I have to look it up because, fortunately, all my animals lived a long time, except for one. I'll get to that story too. It's a sad story, but unfortunately, I have to tell it. It's all part of my history. And, I just, a lot of the time, almost 11:30. I might decide to call it quits here because anyhow, I'll go a little longer. I appreciate you listening to me, and but yeah, she done anyhow. I was lost my track. And that one dog, and she slept in her own bed, and yeah, you'll see her. I have a video on my page somewhere on a glimpse into my past, and you look at that. If you want to look at that video, you will see her in that video. She's walking around. She's a black and white dog. At that time, at that point in her life, she was deaf, so or going deaf. Eventually, she went totally deaf. That's another story in itself too. So, I mean, I can sit here and tell stories about each animal I had. I go on forever, but maybe we'll just stop here for now. And I don't know how long I've been talking. Somewhere on here tells me how long I've been on. I don't know. I thought it did, but I don't know how long I've been talking. Oh, there it is. Oh, 40. Yeah, up there in the corner. Yeah, up in the corner up there on my screen as a timer. 46 and a half minutes. So I guess that's a lot for me. But yeah, yeah, I think I'm going to need to get some rest. Thank you. You seem to be a nice person. I don't know who you are, a lot about you, but uh, that's I don't need to know. So, but because you want to volunteer, then I'll listen. But I have, I always say I'm a better listener than a talker, even though tonight I'm more of a talker. But on live chat like this, you kind of have to be a talker. But I feel listening is more important than talking because I got two ears and one mouth. And that tells me listening must be more important than talking. Oh, you do have a channel. Yeah. Uh, well, thank you for subscribing. And, okay. And, Lori Emmett, I guess that's your name. If I pronounce it that correct. Emmett Morn. I'm sorry I mispronounced your name because I'm not good at pronunciations. So I'm going to try to write that down and uh, and I'll look up your channel and uh, and see if I can find it and I'll subscribe to it. And as I go to different channels, I subscribe to a bunch of different channels. Because, like I said, I'm big on watching vlogs. That's I don't watch a lot of TV because TV programs, especially today, they're, they try to be too much reality. I don't need that stuff. I'd rather be entertained. So I go on there, look at these video blogs. That's how I travel around the world, see these different places, you know. And they talk about the plus not too long. So I subscribe to a lot of them. Yeah. And okay. Well, thank you. You click the little notification button as well. Okay, you're right. It's time for me to call it quits. And thank you for listening. And I'm glad you. I hope you found it interesting. I don't know. And according to this, two people watching. So I don't know. It's you and somebody else. Or just that maybe you had it. Thought it made two comments. I don't know. So anyhow, I'm glad. Okay. Like I said, I want to get out there. I don't know when I'll be on again. Maybe I don't know. I said I don't want to give it time because then I'm committed to it. And what's going to happen is I'm going to forget about it and not make the time I said. Then and you get on there looking for me. I won't be there. You're mad at me. All these scenarios go through my mind. So thank you for listening. Um, we'll call this part one. Of how many parts, I don't know. So, okay, it's time for me to say Happy New Year. All this time about the Roaring Twenties. And I also got on sidetracked into my life story. I don't know. I didn't know my life story was that interesting. But thank you. Good night. God is blessed. And I'll definitely be on in the near future. And again, I don't want to promise when, because I don't know. And that's it for now. Thank you.